All right. So here's the all right, January 20th podcast. I welcome to Connecting Across. Oh, sorry. Let's try that again. Welcome to, this is live. It's so great. Welcome to the Connecting One Meal at a Time podcast. I'm the host, Kate Bean. This is so funny. I'm just trying shit on. This is fun. Yeah, so this is just fun. I am doing this podcast all by myself, but I have a vision. Someday soon, people are going to be joining me to tell stories of connection across, during a connection. During I don't think across. I'm sticking to that. I'm going to go with it. I think my gut wants to say across, connection across divide. So I'm going to go with that connection across divide because I guess there's just so much going on right now that you know, maybe it's needed. I've seen a lot of different attempts. I just saw a video the other day of Dolly Parton doing this great song with, Reba McEntire and Queen Latifah and Miley Cyrus, and just the idea of looking for some goodness, some hope, some yeah, and it was just her way, I think, of connecting, bringing her friends together. So maybe that is on my mind. The podcast is called Connecting One Meal at a Time, but I think the idea of connecting across divide is even more powerful than the connection of one meal at a time. But I do think that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it one meal at a time. And so I think, yeah, so it's going to be, that's how I'm starting today. And mostly, this is a time for reflection. Today is January 20th. I'm 4 days out from my birthday, my 61st birthday. And I realized that this is always a time for reflection for me. January 1st, of course, everybody reflects. They set New Year's resolutions and they do, it's a time to set goals for the year and to look at the new year and figure out what to do. But I think for me, and I've said this before, and I wrote it in the book, that my birthday is that time, which again, it's not too many days after the 1st of January, but it really is my time of reflection. I've made big decisions around my birthday time. I've made big announcements. I've made big changes. So this birthday actually doesn't feel like any of that. Reflection for sure, some reflection about the past and a little bit of thinking of the future, which I don't do often. I don't live often in the past or the future. I live mostly in present moments, but I think birthday time, it's a time. I mean, you call your mom, not you generally. I called my mom to thank her for having me. And so, of course, you're thinking of your past, your childhood, and people ask what's the best birthday ever. I think my daughter asked that, and so of course it's just that time to reflect. So for me, though, I think this year is not a huge. There's no huge changes. There's no announcements. There's no ahas. I guess the biggest aha is I feel like I'm just this decade, the 60s decade is going to be amazing. That's my aha. But every decade has been better in my life. Every decade has been better than the last. I don't know what better means exactly because I've had great decades, but I think better in the learning, the growth, the comfort within my own skin, um the perspective of the world and myself in it and how I show up in the world. It's just gotten stronger every decade, and this is going to be no exception. So, just a great year. I'm so excited. I could tell my story last year in lots of ways that it really my 61st year of my life that I just finished. You could tell it in lots of ways. Really hard and, you know, yeah, so many events I could tell, which I don't need to do right now, and I put them in a post on Instagram, but I could see my life last year in the big events and the hard times and the things I couldn't control, And, but or I could notice my past year in moments, and the best place to notice those moments for me as big old foodie um, and something that happens every day are meals, and that's what this podcast is about, is if meals are the perfect time to slow down, to notice the extraordinary in those ordinary moments of eating, of shopping, of preparing a meal, of eating a meal, of serving someone a meal, being served a meal, all those things. So just the perfect time throughout our day to slow down and notice the extraordinary. And once you do that, man, life is pretty good, because if that's really all we have, we can't redo the past, we can't control the future, but we can embrace moments that are right in front of us. And so I think meals are the perfect doorway to that way of living, noticing the extraordinary and the ordinary, finding gratitude, and just living your best life moment by moment. So that's what this is about. So I mean, it seems appropriate to talk about the meals on and around my birthday. So I have to start with just on my birthday, my daughter Avery, she's like, "Well, where do you want to go for lunch?" She knows I'm a foodie. She knows that's going to be where I want to experience the most extraordinary of the ordinary moments on my birthday. And so she said, "Where do you want to go?" And I immediately thought of this place that my friend Katie told me about in Boston. And she talked about it being this place that has all these tin fish. I know that sounds funny, but lots of fish in tins, Tins. And I just remember when she was talking about it, she was just so exuberant about this place and the experience. So it was an food experience, not just a meal. And whoever she was with, her friends, just incredible. And so I remember that energy as she told me that story. And so I quickly texted Katie. I'm like, "What's that place that has the tin fish?" And she said, "Oh, that's Salty Girl." So I told Avery, I want to go to Salty Girl. And she made the reservations. So we did a lunch, which was great. My morning meeting got canceled. So we were going to go for a late lunch, but we got to move it up. And so it was just so much fun. Like we got there, I think, the host immediately, he's like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday." Because Avery had already told them. And they gave me a card, like, when I walked in the door. So, like, an immediate connection, like, with just someone handing me a birthday card, somebody I don't even know, which was really sweet. And then I got to, they placed us this really lovely table by the window, and, um, and it was everything, everything that Katie talked about, but my own moments of connection is just, sitting across from my daughter Avery. I mean, come on. You're with your adult child, and you're just like, not you. I don't know why I'm doing the you. I was with my adult child, and she made it all happen. She planned the reservation. She was going to pay for the meal, and you're just like, look at my life. Look at this new chapter. It's been there for a while, but now, I mean, she's done with school, and she's in the workforce. And so anyway, it was just really cool to sit with her and talk about. She asked me questions. She was curious, which, amazing to have children who are curious still about you as a parent. Asked me questions, and we just talked and laughed. But and she's like, I'll eat whatever, Mom, whatever you want. And so I really got to choose. And so we got this amazing smoked salmon, tin fish, and and then we got mussels with French fries. I mean, of course. First of all, it was Friday, which I love to have French fries on Friday. Something I've done with my good friend Amy for years, send pics to each other, talk about connection. That's a whole nother podcast of connection across divide of space. So wherever we are on a Friday, if we have French fries, we send them to each other. And so and I missed that. I'm gonna have to do that again. So, yeah, so this is amazing. But first of all, let me just explain this food that comes out. Like, it's on this slate, plate, but like a square, a rectangular piece of slate. And then you've got the tin fish in its cute little box. And I think it was Fishwives Tin Fish in combination. I think they worked with Salty Girl to create this tin fish. But anyway, and then you've got crusty bread, both wheat bread and white bread. And you got three types of salt: a regular salt, a smoked salt, and then a truffle salt. And whipped butter and kind of a tomato jam, so a savory tomato jam. So just building. Oh, and some small peppers, I think piquillo peppers. I might be missing something else, but that's the gist there. So you just kind of build your, experience. So you could build it with some pepper and some butter. And of course, then we had the mussels. So we're also having extra bread that we ordered. So you've got the mussel experience, bread with using the different salts. And oh my gosh, you know why I loved it? Because it was like the ultimate, like super sampler dinner, like nosh dinner. And nosh dinner was a big deal when the girls were young. And Meredith and I would just probably once a week, just like it's nosh night. And we'd pull everything out of the fridge and all things, dips and crackers and cheeses and all kinds of things, pickles and things like that, and just have nosh night. So that's what this felt like. It felt like nosh lunch for my birthday at the Salty Girl. And so just tons of combinations. So I didn't have to choose. So what I noticed is, well, I noticed a lot of things. I noticed that um, the connection I have with Avery is just so easy. And I just had such gratitude in the moment for having this easy relationship with my daughter, and felt honest and easy, and um, so much pride and all the things. And I feel it reciprocal. So even being a parent, you're always thinking, I'm proud of my kids. But I actually feel like my girls are proud of me. Let me get emotional. But that's really a great feeling, and makes me happy at how I show up in the world. And so that that's just, was a great connection. And then again, she was just so open to whatever food choices I wanted, which was really cool. And I noticed it. She's a foodie too. She could have looked at that menu and saw 1,000 things she wanted. I mean, just the tin fish alone menu just were pages and pages of tin fish, like oysters and cod and tuna and salmon and mackerel and sardines, and it was everything. Yeah. But she's like, whatever you want, mom, whatever you want. And so that generosity of spirit and choice that she gave me made it just so much easier. So I didn't have to think about, oh, what does she want? And, which would be my natural propensity, especially around food. Like, what does the other person want? So that was just a cool connection all the way around. It was just awesome. And I just noticed all of it. I noticed the light. I noticed the people at tables next to us that also had cards. I think one was an anniversary card and another one was a birthday. So I was like, oh, this woman has the same birthday as me. And I didn't say anything to her, but there was kind of this interject connection, which is kind of cool. Like, look at that. Now, it might not have been the same day, but I don't know. I choose to tell the story that it was. And I paused to think what her life has been like. She looked like about the same age as me. So, anyway, all kinds of ways to find connection. So, that was my birthday meal, topped off with this incredible dessert that was just crazy ridiculous. One of my favorite things is, Meredith's sister-in-law makes this sticky date pudding, and it's just one of my favorite desserts in the whole world. And so Avery's this is the one thing where she's like, "Well, what dessert do you want, mom? Pick whatever you want." And I was like, "I don't know if I need dessert," but then I was like, "Yeah, I do want dessert. It's my birthday, and I want a little sweet." But I couldn't decide, and so she's like, "How about this? How about we do this sticky toffee madeleines with ice cream?" And at first I thought, "Would that be my first choice?" And then I noticed, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go with Avery on this one." Good choice. Excellent choice. Like, it was so, so, so good. And the little madeleines taste so similar to that sticky date pudding. that Jenny makes, I love so much. So again, perfect dessert to a perfect meal. I literally found myself saying, "This might be one of the top 10 meals of all time." I was saying that to Avery, and then, of course, the conversation went to, "Well, what are other your top 10 meals?" And I got to explain. So again, I had connections to past meal experiences because she was curious enough to ask that question, and it gave me she held space for me to tell stories about meals and connection, the people that I was with at the time when I had those meals, and was it the people that made the meal so great, or was it the food itself, or was it the place we were in, or the time in my life, or anyway, all of that was just a great opportunity. So I'm going to finish with that. There was amazing things that happened the rest of the day with a fantastic movie, and you know, there's this, yeah, a great meal later that was came from the generosity of Lane, Avery's boyfriend, and so that was just really unexpected and sweet. So there's so much, yeah, so much I could tell around my birthday, but sticking to the meal, I think it was this opportunity to once again be completely okay, not okay, to completely satisfied and satiated with not only the meal, but where I am exactly in my life right now. And no matter what's ahead in this 62nd year that I'm beginning the journey, whatever it brings, and I actually know it's going to be incredible because I choose to say that it is. Even last year with all the hard things, it was an incredible year. And so much learning and growth and just joy. So many great moments last year. So this year will be the same if I choose to say that it is. So that's Connecting One Meal at a Time podcast today. We went a little bit long for today, but yeah, it was my birthday. What the hell? Um, I think I'm really looking forward to having people come on and tell their stories and not be about me. Although I'm fine, I'm owning and love, this is just a fantastic opportunity each week for me to notice the extraordinary, ordinary moments of meals in my life. But I can't wait for people to come on to share their stories. So if you'd like to come on the podcast, again, I'm going to pretend we have 1 million listeners right now, which I think I only have 2 subscribers. But if you'd like to come on the podcast, 2 ways. You can go to our new website, katebean.com, and there's an opportunity to send us a message to share your story about connecting during a meal, connecting one meal at a time, or connecting across divide, which seemed to be the thing I want to say today, one meal at a time. Or you can also call our Google Voice number and leave us a message of a story of connecting one meal at a time. And that number is area code 804 620 7656. So 804 620 SOJO, which is 7656. So join us either way, kateb.com, leave us a message or call in. That phone number is also on the website. So thanks for listening. And I hope you have an extraordinary, ordinary day, which, as we know now, you can choose to do that one meal at a time by just noticing the extraordinary, the ordinary moments of a meal. All right. Bye for now.